Pulse check now on how Americans are feeling as we head into the President's State of the Union address. Our very own Steve Kornacki, a good friend to the broadcast, joins us now. Steve, walk us through the President's approval rating right now. We're going to break down some other issues with you as well.
Yeah, Tom, I mean, big picture for President Trump. This is his approval rating, an average of every poll that's out there right now. He's sitting at 40% approval, majority disapproval, you see right here. And I think what's most striking about this is if you look back at this exact same point in Trump's first term, the start of 2018, the midterm year then, look where he was. He was also at a 40% approval rating. So he's in the same boat as he was then. And, of course, what happened then in 2018 for the Republicans, they lost 40 seats. They lost control of the House. That was a bad midterm for them. And on that front here, you take a look. This is the generic ballot. We're always asking folks, which party do you want to see control Congress? Heading into this year's midterms, Democrats right now with an advantage of 5 points over Republicans. Back in 2018, that bad midterm for Republicans, at this point it was 7 points for Democrats. So looking somewhat similar to that, and you broaden it out. It's not just Trump versus his first term. Trump's number right now, that 40% approval rating, that is basically in line with Biden, Trump in his first term, Obama in 2014, Obama 2010, George W. Bush 2006. These are all presidents who in these midterm elections, Tom, saw their party lose control of at least one chamber of Congress.
All right, Steve, break down some of the issues here. Can we look at the economy and anything else you have there on your magic board?
Yeah, so you see that 40% overall approval rating for Trump. One thing we saw in his first term was it varied a bit on some issues. Take a look, though, here, when you're taking a look here at the economy, a 40% approval rating for Trump, specifically on the economy right now. In his first term, this was actually one of his strengths. He had a 50% approval rating on the economy at this point in his first term. It's 10 points lower this time. Voters consistently saying this is their top issue, the economy and the cost of living. And Trump's signature issue, arguably, his entire time on the national stage the last 10 years, immigration and the border. And here you see, look, a 43% approval rating for Trump. Again, majority disapproval. You look where this number was in his first term here. Again, that is a low number for him on an issue he's tried to make the centerpiece. So the economy and immigration, Trump in a tough spot on both of those issues. And one other thing we can show you here, Tom, some key groups: young voters, Hispanic voters, and independents. And if you think back to the 2024 campaign when Donald Trump won and he won the popular vote, he did surprisingly well with all three of these groups. You take a look at what his job approval rating with each of those groups is now: 29, 30, 29%. Again, a year ago with these same groups, it was significantly higher. So he's had slippage with some of those groups he really appealed to, developed a sort of surprising strength within 2024. The polling right now indicates there's a lot of skepticism and doubt with those same voters.
Steve, let me throw you a curveball here. Anything positive in the data or the polls that we have seen for President Trump or Republicans? I ask that because I know there's been some polls out there that show Americans don't trust the Democrats more than the Republicans right now to handle the economy. So you wonder if the Democrats are just going to run anti-Trump. Is there anything else they should run on? Is there anything Republicans should be running on as well?
You know, Tom, it's interesting. It's weird to say this, but where do Republicans draw their inspiration when it comes to this midterm election? It would be the last president. It would be Joe Biden of all people. Why? Because, look, Trump's approval rating's 40% right now. Joe Biden's was 41% at this point in 2022. Democrats did lose the House in 2022, but look at that number. That means the Democrats lost 9 seats in 2022. That's actually the lowest, the smallest amount of defeat that a White House party has had in any of these midterm elections. So, Democrats, they lost the House, but it wasn't catastrophic in 2022. I think when Republicans look at all of these sort of big picture indicators that are so difficult for them right now, if they were able to hold they want to control the House, but if they were able to hold their losses to single digits and say you have at least a fighting chance at the House, I think they would sign up for that right now. And one of the reasons for that, why it wasn't as bad for Biden as it was for some of the others, the battlefield really has narrowed over the years when it comes to House districts. You hear about gerrymandering.
Yeah.
You hear about the rise of polarization, people really picking sides and sticking with those sides. So weirdly enough, Joe Biden was in bad political shape in 2022, but the House losses were single digits. Republicans, in some ways, draw inspiration from that.
Steve Kornacki, we're going to talk to you more later throughout the night. We thank you so much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.